From the very first weekend for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, the third movie in the Ant-Man franchise, while the woke mainstream media went out there and all parroted the same thing. Wow, it's the biggest opening in Ant-Man franchise history. What a success for Marvel. Some of us, including right here on this channel, were saying, no, it's not. If you actually look into these numbers and look at what the MCU has been doing over the past year plus, it's not going to be good. In fact, this might end up being a total catastrophe for the MCU because there's no way this movie breaks even. It needs $600 million at the box office in order to break even with a $200 million budget, with at least $100 million in marketing, and then you factor in the cut that all the box offices at the movie theaters actually get. $600 million is the break-even point. This movie not only will not reach $600 million, but now everybody is admitting that it's likely not even going to get to $500 million. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania will likely finish its global box office run with under $500 million. The latest box office updates are in, and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania's shrinking returns don't bode well for the Marvel Studios' threequel's final worldwide cum. After a typically strong opening, Marvel Studios' Ant-Man and the Wasp suffered the biggest second-week drop in the history of the MCU, and the Peyton Reed-directed threequel never managed to recover. As things stand, Marvel's first Phase 5 film is expected to finish its box office run with around $475 to $490 million, making it the lowest earner of the Ant-Man franchise. And in fact, when you compare it to other things that are out there right now, this is how embarrassing Marvel has become. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is tracking to end with a higher worldwide box office than Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Now, I'm not shitting on Puss in Boots. I watched this movie. It's actually one of the best movies I've seen in the last couple years. It's not even messing around. That's not playing. That's not being hyperbolic. I think that Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is an awesome, awesome movie. And it's obviously part of it's a spinoff. It's a spinoff from the Shrek franchise. So it's not like nobody's ever heard about it before. But a movie with a $90 million budget is set to outpace the beginning of Phase 5, introducing the next big threat for the MCU. And that's where Marvel's at right now. They're out of excuses. When you look at what's going on, it's not going to get any better with all the things that have come out. Creed 3 had a big box office opening over what it was projected to get. Scream 4 over what it was projected to get as well. So it's not like people aren't willing to go to the theaters. They certainly are. They just don't want to tune in to Marvel anymore. And when you do look at this worldwide box office number, it is almost flatlined. It is stalled out, both here in the United States and internationally. It's not going to hit $500 million. This is a total disaster for Marvel. There's no way to undersell this, even to the point where a lot of people are finally having to admit the same thing. Now, even though CBR did change the headline, because I don't know, maybe they got told, hey, you're not allowed to be that mean to MCU movies. This is CBR after all. Quantumania hit a skid at the box office, but is there hope for the rest of Phase 5? You know what this article was originally titled? Quantumania's box office trouble spells doom for the rest of Phase 5. That's originally what it was titled before suddenly they decided they needed to change the title of the article. That was a little bit too gloom and doom for the MCU, but the contents are the same. Talking about the disappointments, talking about the fact that it's going to lose money, talking about the record-breaking second weekend drop. And you're hearing a lot of people talk about, oh, it's superhero fatigue. Oh, COVID. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. People have fatigue from bad movies. If you put something out there that they're interested in that might not just hit you over the head with woke propaganda, something like Top Gun Maverick, then they might go and see it. If you get something that's competently done, if you get something that's not designed specifically to tear down all these things you know and love and push aside characters that you care about in order to introduce characters that you don't care about. We have seen that people have lost their excitement for Marvel, for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And is this movie that bad? Is that really the problem, that the movie itself is just that bad? Not overall. I don't think it's a good movie. I think it's a bad movie. But when you look at everything that's going on with Marvel, it's a combination of putting out a bad product and of telling people what to expect, telling people that you're going to focus more on diversity and representation and identity politics and agenda instead of actual storytelling. And when you do that, when you focus on those things, the entertainment quality drops. Get woke, go broke. That has a meaning. It doesn't just mean because you're virtue signaling people go away. It means because you're placing an emphasis on all of these things instead of what should really matter. Inevitably, the quality of your product will go down. And that's what we're seeing. The quality of the MCU has gone down drastically, and now there's no one left to deny it. Even everyone in the media is being forced to admit that this is a failure. Whether they think it'll continue or whether they think it'll end with just this, maybe they think it'll get fixed or get better. But there's no doubt right now that at Marvel Studios, with the MCU, beginning of Phase 5 to have this bad of a failure, they have to be freaking the fuck out. It's why we've seen so many things get pushed, so many things get delayed, so they can desperately try to fix all of the problems they themselves have created.